In the chaos of World War II, where cities burned and nations bled, another war raged unseen, fought not with bullets, but with secrets. Beneath the surface of history's most brutal conflict, a silent network of British spies wove deception so precise, it rewrote the outcome of the war itself. Welcome to Echoes of Empire, where we bring the forgotten stories of Britain's past back to life. These were not soldiers of the battlefield, they were soldiers of the unseen. Men and women who lived in lies, who turned falsehood into weapons and risked everything for the truth. What they did in silence changed the fate of the free world. In a quiet English mansion surrounded by hedges and secrecy, Britain built its most powerful weapon, the human mind. Inside Bletchley Park, mathematicians, linguists, and dreamers gathered to fight an invisible enemy. Among them was Alan Turing, a genius who saw the world in numbers and patterns. Day and night, they worked to crack Enigma, the unbreakable German code. Thousands of intercepted messages, millions of possible combinations, and one ticking clock that decided who lived and who died. When the code finally broke, it turned the tide of the war. But the world never knew. The heroes of Bletchley Park were sworn to silence, their brilliance buried under layers of secrecy for decades. They didn't fight for glory, they fought for the world's survival. In 1943, British intelligence pulled off one of the most daring acts of deception in history. A corpse was dressed as a British officer, planted with fake invasion plans, and dropped off the coast of Spain. The Germans found the body, and believed every word. The plan, known as Operation Mincemeat, convinced Hitler to move his armies away from Sicily, saving tens of thousands of Allied lives. Behind the operation were two ordinary men with extraordinary imaginations, Ewan Montague and Charles Chumley. They didn't wield guns, they wielded lies so powerful, they defeated an army without firing a shot. Their masterpiece became the most successful deception of the war, a story stranger than fiction, but entirely true. While bombs fell over London, MI5 built a web of double agents that fooled the Nazis from start to finish. They called it the double-cross system. German spies were captured, turned, and fed false information back to Berlin, every message carefully crafted to shape enemy strategy. From Agent Garbo, who created an entire network of fake informants, to Agent Zigzag, a criminal turned hero, these double agents became the chess pieces of Britain's silent war. Through deception and psychological brilliance, they convinced Hitler that the D-Day invasion would strike in Calais, not Normandy, ensuring the success of the real assault and the beginning of Germany's end. Every coded telegram, every false whisper, was a strike against tyranny. And yet, the names of these spies would remain buried for decades, their victories hidden beneath the veil of secrecy. Not all heroes wore uniforms. Some wore courage disguised as simplicity. The women of Britain's Special Operations Executive, the SOE, fought behind enemy lines, delivering intelligence, sabotaging railways, and organizing resistance in occupied Europe. Among them were legends like Violette Sabo, Nouri Nayef Khan, and Odette Sansom, women who carried radios instead of rifles, and bravery instead of fear. Captured, tortured, and killed, they became the silent heartbeat of resistance. Their courage was Britain's most powerful message to the world, that even in darkness, freedom had its defenders. Their names live on as the soul of the invisible army that helped end the war. When the war ended, the soldiers came home, but the spies disappeared into history's silence. Their missions were locked away, their names erased, their victories credited to others. But the empire they built, the empire of intelligence, would shape the modern world. From MI6 to GCHQ, the legacy of those wartime spies became the foundation of Britain's intelligence power, one that still guards the realm today. They proved that information could be mightier than armies, that deception could be the weapon that saves humanity. And in doing so, they redefined what it means to fight for freedom. The British spies of World War II didn't fight for medals or fame. They fought in silence, knowing the world would never know their names. But every message cracked, every lie told, every risk taken in the dark brought light to the world above. Because victory was not only won on battlefields, it was won in the shadows. This was Echoes of Empire. Subscribe for more untold stories from the heart of Britain's history. Because sometimes, the heroes who changed the world, are the ones history tried to forget.